Hello, this is Dr. Slaughter-Thierry, and I'm recording this lecture for Lamar Institute of Technology. It is a part of the Humanities 1315 course, Art Appreciation. And this lecture is for our second module, which covers 4 chapters. Chapter 2, What is Art? Chapter 5, Sculpture. Chapter 6, Architecture. And Chapter 14, Is it art or something like art? Now these chapters are from our textbook, The Humanities Through the Arts. And the first thing we want to look at is, what is art? So there's 2 basic components, 2-dimensional art and 3-dimensional art. Well, for our 2-dimensional art, it's usually things that hang, like pictures or paintings, photographs, wall hangings, things along that line. But 3-dimensional art is anything that basically takes up space, has some type of weight or whatever. Art can consist of a lot of different mediums on how to create it. When considering sculpture and things built, this, for example, is wood and it's carved. So that's one way to achieve a sculpture. Another way to achieve a sculpture could be to pour something into a mold using some type of a compound such as this to build that object. You pour it wet, it dries, you remove it from the mold, and that's how you make that object. There's also the ability to take clay, which is one of the things that we did on one of our projects for this unit, was to take air dry clay and create a pinch pot or a flat object. This is pottery, and it was made in Peru. It is actually a horn. You can play it as an instrument. It has holes on the top, holes on the back, and holes on the mouth. And so when you're considering what is art, a lot of things become art. You find a lot of different types of objects that will show up in a museum. This, for example, is a tool. It's wooden dowel, wooden handle, and it's engraved. So it makes impressions. This is a flute, and it's carved out of jade. And what it is, as you can look inside the perfect clear hole, this is machine made. This is not handmade. So would this be considered art or something like art? This object right here, it's mass produced, designed as decoration, something that you're going to put into your home somewhere on a shelf or whatnot. Is it art? Is it something like art? Could it become art later on in time? A lot of the things you find in a museum has been around for many years. Is it art because of how old it is? Is it art because of who made it, when it was made, what it was used for, or how it was used? This is a rain stick, and it's used for, this one right here is Chilean, so it's used for different rituals. So would this be considered art? It's made from natural substances. It is a handmade object. So would that be art? Is it art just because it was handmade? Something like this can be made handmade. It can be made handmade using crude or found tools. It could be handmade using store-bought tools and different things of that nature. It could be mass-produced on a machine. So over the years, would something like this be considered art? Glass. Glass is something that artists blow by hand, and they will work with the heated glass and blow that glass and make all kinds of things. If this is a mass-produced item and it's not made in that manner, is it possible down the line for this to become an artifact in someone's museum? What could make that happen, and why? These are some of the questions I want you to consider when you're looking at chapter 2 and chapter 14. What is art, and is it art or something like art? When you look into your sculpture, we have the assignments for you to do working with the clay, and the activities that you're going to do with the pinch pot and the flat object, those relate to the video that you watched. And I want you to look at those videos, and I want you to look at some of your chapter material for the correlations between those objects. On that flat object, you need both a engraved or carved object on that flat item that you made, and raised items on that flat object. This is how you're going to decorate it. So look in your textbook as you're reading through the material, and look for things mentioned in that sculpture chapter 5, that relate to those type of procedures, as well as look into that video for looking for those 5 styles that they offered on your video. What styles most match what the procedures you used to create your pinch pot or to create your flat object. So all of the links for the textbook that we'll be using will be included at the bottom of this video. So if you were looking at it, you want to know what the texts were, the text will have the ISBN number there for you to look that up, as well as the video that I've been referencing. I'll have that at the bottom as well.